validation and normalization. This is Andrew Sullivan, probably the most prominent advocate for same-sex marriage, and he said this in 1996, and he's absolutely right. Here's what he said. He said, if nothing else were done at all and gay marriage were legalized, 90% of the political work necessary to achieve gay and lesbian equality will have been achieved. It's ultimately the only reform that matters. Once gay marriage is put into place or the government promotes same-sex marriage, homosexuality is considered on par with heterosexuality, and then the force of the law will be used against those who disagree to comply. And if you think I'm making this up, we're going to get there because it's already happening. So it's really about validation and normalization. Now, if I was on the other side of this issue and I had decided that I was going to act on the feelings I had and that I was going to get involved in the same-sex lifestyle, I might want the same thing. I don't blame them for that. In fact, I had a friend of mine who grew up next to me in New Jersey. He got involved in the homosexual lifestyle, and we buried him at the age of 36, dead from AIDS. And nobody ever said to him, Mark, you probably shouldn't be doing this. Everyone just said, I want to be loving, I want to be tolerant. I think that's cowardly. I think sometimes you got to tell people what they need to hear, even if they get angry with you. So what are the 4 P's? Well, the first P is for what purpose does the government promote natural marriage between a man and a woman? What purpose? Anyone? What's the reason the government promotes marriage? Go. You have to have children to sustain society. That's certainly at the heart of it. Well, let me put it this way. It is not because 2 people love one another. Joe Biden, the vice president, about a month ago on TV said, well, it's about who you love. Well, I'm sorry, Joe. No, it's not about who you love. That is not why the state endorses marriage, why the state promotes marriage. The reason the state promotes marriage is because of many benefits. Marriage creates children. It raises children by a mom and a dad, which is known to be the best. It civilizes men. What? Yes, ladies, I'm telling you right now, single men tend to be predators. Do not trust any single man. I don't care how nice and holy he seems to be. Do not trust him till you have the ring on your finger and you've already said, I do. I'm sorry, guys. I'm telling them the truth. It civilizes men. It focuses men on productive pursuits. Also, it protects women from uncommitted men. I've heard people say this, well, why doesn't the government just get out of marriage and just let have the churches do this? Oh, really? You think that's going to work? You think they're going to come into a church, they're going to get married, and then there's not going to be any legal ramifications if the guy decides he's going to ditch the woman and the kids and not pay any child support? You think the church is going to be able to enforce that? Of course not. You need the government involved to protect women and the children. And it perpetuates and stabilizes society. There would be no society if, of course, men and women didn't come together. And there certainly wouldn't be a civilized society if men and women didn't come together and stay together for the benefit of their children. Now, we've already seen in the past 40 or 50 years, the family has broken up at amazing rates, and that has led to all sorts of problems in our society, which is, by the way, why you cannot bifurcate the financial and the moral issues. You always hear these politicians saying, let's just stay focused on the economy. These moral issues don't really matter. Why is our economy, at least one major reason, why is our economy in such bad shape? Because the family has broken down. And that's a moral issue. The family has broken down, and now government has bloated to such an extreme, and deficit spending has taken over. That's the reason we have financial trouble. We've got increased welfare, increased crime, increased poverty. All of these things create financial strain on the economy. They're moral issues. You can't bifurcate the two. So the reason the government promotes natural marriage is because it gets great benefits. When our country, I should say when our marriages are strong, our country is strong. When our marriages are weak, our country is weak. Society gets great benefits by promoting marriage between a man and a woman. Now, Why are we not denying anyone civil rights by saying that is the only relationship we will promote? Well, let's look at it this way. The government has three options with any behavior. The government can prohibit a behavior, it can permit a behavior, or it can promote a behavior. Right now, it promotes marriage between a man and a woman. It gives that couple special rights, special financial benefits. It gives them special treatment under the law because society gets great benefits from that relationship. Now, we prohibit some relationships, some sexual relationships like polygamy, incest, and pedophilia, but we permit homosexual relationships and unmarried heterosexual relationships. Now, is anybody being discriminated against because this is what the government does? Nobody's being discriminated against. Everybody has the same equal right. Everybody in society can engage in this relationship if they want to. They can marry somebody of the opposite sex who's unrelated to them and have the government give them that benefit. If they don't care to do that, they are not being discriminated against. That's the choice they make. You say, well, they don't have the feelings for the opposite sex that the rest of us do. They have feelings for the same sex. Okay, so they don't have to engage in this relationship. If they want to engage in this relationship, they can. But nobody is denying anyone any rights. In fact, why is no one being denied any right? Because these are all behaviors. They are not people. The government, or I should say, laws address behaviors. They don't address persons. Laws say this behavior is a behavior that's beneficial. We will promote it. These are the behaviors that are just fine. We're going to permit them. These are the behaviors that are harmful. We're going to prohibit them. They do not discriminate against any person. No people are being discriminated against. Behaviors are being discriminated against, and that's what all laws do. In fact, that's why we need laws, because people behave in ways that are harmful to others, and so we have to prohibit some behaviors.